Hey guys, here's 9 tips to help you when moving with pets. Tip number 1, this is insanely important. You got to stick to their routine. My buddy Dingo, he's laying on the bed right behind me and he knows when it's time to go around the block. We don't say the W word until it's time, but he knows when I'm leaving. If he sees me put my shoes on, or if he sees me do something that's not part of the typical routine, he starts to worry. So keep their schedule as normal as you possibly can. Tip number 2, pack their favorite things last. So Dingo, right behind me, he's got this tug-of-war rope that we play with all the time. So if that goes in a box or he can't find that, he's gonna start to worry. So let him enjoy their stuff until it's go time. Tip number 3, this is often an overlooked tip, but leave some of the boxes out that you're using to move with and let them sniff. Help them get familiar with the unfamiliar. Do this about a few weeks out so they have time to get familiar, and you might even see them start sleeping in the same room as some of these boxes, and it's almost like free entertainment for them. Now these next 3 tips, they're going to be geared towards what happens on moving day. So tip number 4, if you can, get your pets out of the house before you start moving. Because when you get movers in there, you're going up and down stairs carrying boxes, chaos erupts. So take them to the new place and let them sniff and hang out with a friend or a family member. And if you can't do that, clear out a room for them and keep them in there while all the crazy stuff's getting moved out of the house. Tip number 5, put on a little background music. Sometimes we'll leave the TV on for the dogs while we're out. That just helps break up the silence and gives them a false sense of company. And that can help muffle some of the noises that the movers are making when they're banging furniture around and going up and down the stairs. Tip number 6, this kind of goes without saying, but make sure your dogs have their collars on and their tags, because if you have more than one pet like we do, we got Maisie, she's in the other room, but she's very skittish. So if she gets scared and she gets a chance, she's gonna go right out the door. You wanna make sure somebody can bring them back. Worst case, they jet out of the house. But again, that's worst case. Just make sure your dog's got their collars and their tags on. Tip number 7, now these last 3 tips are during travel. So like when you're in the car, taking your pet to your new place. I've never had cats as a pet, but a couple friends that I asked said they always go in carriers. If you have a carrier for them, put them in there, put them on the back seat floor. For dogs, you want to use something like a seatbelt harness or keep them behind a dog grate, because the main objective with this tip is safety. So you want to make sure they have a smooth ride over from your old place to your new place. Tip number 8, don't leave them by themselves. Even if it's not you, make sure somebody's there with them, because heaven forbid you get sidetracked and you start moving things in. You leave them in the hot car for too long. Holy cow, that's a disaster. That'll ruin more than your move. Not to mention, if they do get a little anxious, they might start marking on some things that you don't want them to mark. All right, tip number 9, we're going to pack their essentials. So ideally, you would have already done this. And if you got a little bit of a hike to get to your new place, you want to make sure you got food and water, favorite toys if they have them. Make the car ride as comfortable as possible so it's more enjoyable for everybody. And if you're looking to move in the greater Harrisburg area of central Pennsylvania, which is where I'm at, and you want to get access to off-market and unlisted homes, I'll put my contact info in the description. And if you have any questions, you can just give me a shout. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I love my pets. I'm sure you do too. So have a safe move. And if you got any value out of this, please subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way, and share it with your friends. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.